Hi, gorgeous souls. This is Astrology TV breaking the cage for November 12th through the 18th. Now, before I get into the video, and I'll repeat this a time or two because I know people come in and start watching a little bit later as well. Normally, I do the show live. Today, I have a situation that's coming up, so I'm pre-recording this show for you because I wanted to make sure to get the show out. And because there's so much going on in our world that it needs to come out. Let me have a sip of my drink real fast. So again, I do ask for forgiveness that it's not live, but I wanted to make sure to get the video out to you. Oh my God. Like I said, this is for November, 12th through the 18th. This is the new moon in Scorpio. And right off the bat, Spirit is just hitting me with raw. This is what you're here for. This is what this is about. This is truly where we're meant to be, even though there's so much negativity that we're feeling so much of the change, and it's so deep within us for so many of us, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical. I mean, in the form of like a flu virus, like it's deep inside of us, but that's what this is about. We're finally getting to raw, raw depth and truth. And we have so much more still to clean out. And I know people are so sick of hearing this, but the way Spirit is giving it to me, I have a poem I'm going to read to you in just a second because to put it back into perspective as to where we are as a world stage right now, as well as individually in our spiritual growth. Because this has a lot to do with the spiritual industry right now and how, in a screwed up way, the spiritual industry is a joke. And what I mean by a joke is we have been working so hard to get to this point, but we're so divided still. And we have got to stop playing three-dimensional hive mind, thinking. And we're getting into the awakened, into authenticity, into true soul depth. Well, when you can't get that, and you can't come back into that soul fire, that soul spark, that soul depth until we seriously start to get raw. You know, rub your skin raw, like washing your hands till they bleed to the pain. Raw is the pain. And we have to heal that. We have to visually see it, deal with it, and stop putting it on the back burner. Stop bottling it up until it becomes an explosive nuclear weapon within each one of us. Give me just a second before I get into anything else Spirit says for me. We come to be danced, not the pretty dance, not the pretty, pick me dance, but the claw your way back into the belly of the sacred, sensual, animal dance. The unhinged, unplugged, cat is right out of the box dance. The holding the precious moments in your palms of your hands and your feet dance. We have come to be danced. Not that, not that jiffy, booby, shake your booty for him dance, but the rining of the sadness from your skin dance. The blow that chip right off your shoulder dance. The slap the apology from your posture dance. We have come to be danced. Not the monkey see, monkey do dance. The 1, 2, dance like you dance. 2, 3, dance like me dance. But the grave robber, tomb stalker, tearing the scabs and scars open dance. The rub the rhythm raw against your soul dance. We have come to be danced. Not the matter, not the matted, I'm sorry, but the matted hair flying, voodoo mama, shaman shaking, ancient bones dancing, but strip us from our castings and return us to our wings, shaping our claws, sharpening our claws, and our tongues dance. The shed yourselves and slip into luminous skin of love dance. We have come to be danced. Not to hold our breath and wallow in our shallow end of floor dance, but the meeting of the Trinity, the body, the breath, the beat, the dance, the shout, hallelujah, from the top of your thighs, dance. The mother, may I will, yes, you may take 10 giant leaps, dance. The Ali Ali oxen free dance. That everyone can come to our heaven dance. We have come to be danced, where the kingdoms collide and the cathedrals of flesh and the cathedrals of flesh turn back into the light, the unravel, to unravel, to play, to fly, to pray. The root in the skin, sanctuary. We have come to be danced. Yes. Yes. We have come. You weren't brought back to this time for no freaking reason. And this is some hard shit. And it's deep within your body and your soul. We are getting into the true getting right of rubbing that rhythm raw against our soul so we can freaking find it and come back to oneness. Welcome to the raw. Welcome to the soul. Welcome to ego death for the 37,000th time. This is what you're here for. This is how we get back to right. This is how we get back to light. This is how we learn how to stop bottling up all of our repressed fears, desires, and we learn how to spiritually find your moral compass. Because on this planet right now, we're so divided, the moral compass is just that, if that, I'm trying to hear what they said. If that's, I can't get it out. More or less disintegrated. My tongue wouldn't say it right. The spiritual industry, I'm saying, is a joke because we're so divided. We're so much in the level of being the light worker, being the psychic worker, the healer, that we're so busy being right that we can't even do that right. Spirit is reminding me, one of the reasons why my nickname is Bells is because for a long time I used to wear bells on my ankles. Now I wear them in my dress. But Spirit would show me in shamanism, when you get a spiritual tool, so to speak, like right here, a rattle. When the shamans get ready to do their work, they will what we call garb. And we will fuel the energy of what we need into this. This is where most people get psychic protection wrong, or they get their crystals and so forth wrong, because they'll buy giant crystals or bracelets full of crystals or whatever it is that's their psychic spiritual protection, essential oils and so forth, and they're loading themselves up on it for protection. But what you're not getting is the protection came from within. The reason I said that why my nickname's Bells is because I would garb my bells on my ankle. And Spirit would show me as I was walking And now I do it in my hair so I can shake the energy that's in my, that I can feel that negativity that's coming in and how it tries to attack the zeal point. And I'll shake my head so the bells will break up that energy. Think of like a mass of energy that's come together, like as a one, like as a body, as a soul, mass. And think of, and all of a sudden it all shatters. And then as I would walk by, after I'd pass it, it would come back together as whatever negativity it was. I'm saying it to you this way because this is what you need to understand about spiritual protection. You're having a lot of psychic energy coming in, a lot of psychic attacks coming in, but some of this is also of our own negativity. Some of this is people thinking they're fighting demons when they're actually fighting all the negativity from the world around them that they've allowed to invade them. You are the most powerful thing, not those crystals that you're wearing, not the oil that you're wearing. You use them and garb them. You put your energy into them to remind you, I can destroy anything that comes my way. Nothing is able to exist in my energy if I say that it cannot. Because this is why they tell you to make a shield. And you hear as you're coming online, as you're starting to come into the awoken world, psychic protection, make a little light bubble. And I'll be the first one to tell you, you people outgrow that. That doesn't work. The harder, the harsh negativity that's coming in, the more raw this energy that's coming from the negatives, from the entities, and from ourselves and our own spiritual, activists that are fighting amongst each other. We are so separated that we can't come together to realize, let's break that bad stuff up, disintegrate it. Garb your energies. Breathe that power into it and allow those crystals and those enhancements to be exactly that, an enhancement in your power. Because Spirit is showing me, and I've been getting it all week, they keep showing me the movie Twister from way back in the day. And on the movie, at one point, I can't remember who's the player of the movie, but in the movie, the girl is yelling at her ex-boyfriend while the twister is like getting ready to come and they're trying to set up for the next, trying to catch that all those sensors in the twister so that they can, learn how to read it. And she's yelling at him. And she goes, you didn't see it go after this house, or you didn't see it miss that house and miss that house and miss that house and come directly after you. That is what Spirit is trying to explain. You have got to stop being in divide, and you have got to stop fear mongering. You've got to stop paying attention and playing on the lower vibrational field, because then you open yourself up for that twister to follow you, for that negative energy to follow you. It can only come after you and be part of your existence if you allow it to be part of your existence. Any and everything you are is part of your vibrational frequency. And if you are on a low enough frequency, more things can get in, more things can corrode. You have got to be able to be in that higher vibration to where, yes, you're on the same three-dimensional world, but somehow it's on a different timeline. Somehow it's on a different dimension. And while it's right there, it's kind of like a dog that's yapping away, but you can't find that dog. I hear it in the distance, but it's not here for you to see and touch, to be a part of. What you create any and everything that is part of your vibration is something that is a mirror effect, talking about your very vibration. Get out of that lower frequency. You have G1, geomagnetic storms coming in this week, G1, G2. I'm sure the Shaman residence is going to be off the chain. Plus, you've got the new moon in Scorpio. Hello, death card right there. Transformation. Not to mention, this is a new moon setting new goals, new desires, new directions from the dark, from the magic of the ability to step into the raw. Hello, welcome to the raw. You're in the real spiritual game now. We're getting into the depths of the truth, the root. We're not in the pretend playing beginner's game anymore. Step up. You're legends. You wouldn't be brought back here if you weren't meant to be the change. You are exactly what they will be talking about in years to come. Lead. Stop dividing. Stop holding on to the fear, the fear and the negative conversations that allow that stuff in, seeping into the pores of your aura and physical bodies. And make sure that it dodges you. Garb your energy correctly. And one reason that you're feeling this energy so much right now, remember, you're going to have a full moon in Gemini at the end of the month. Gemini, everything that deals with Gemini is up close and personal in communication. Not to mention, Mercury is now in Sag. Now, see, Sag gives you the idea that you're in that moral compass, that you're in that spiritual. They just said actually, at this moment, it's more like spiritual devourment. Shit. Understand, Mercury is your communication. It is not positive. It is not negative. It's what you feed it. And we are talking about your moral compass. But what people don't understand is Sagittarius in the human blueprint is the chakra of, I have it written down somewhere, but the chakra that actually represents anger. It's where anger prominates the most in the thighs and right here in the arm. You're talking about communication sitting in the chakra that deals with, hold on, let me find it. That deals with anger, despair, confusion, frustration, and typically just being pissed off and mad at the world. And this is where Mercury, your communication is. When you're in the lower vibration, when you're not in that higher frequency, dealing with the higher energy, this is coming into your galactic center, your personal galactic center. Have you come here to be danced? Or have you come here to continue whining instead of actually get raw and deep with your soul and your spiritual development? We're not in foo-foo work anymore. Welcome to the real. Welcome to the shamanism. Welcome to the depths of where the pain is and the roots of where changing this world on your own personal individual life as well as world stage. Why do you think the war is going the way it is? Why do you think I said right off the bat, the energy is nuclear? But are you going to be part of that vibration? You were looking at that new moon coming in Gemini, up close and personal at the end of the, full moon at the end of the month, up close and personal, and communication that technically is hanging out in that anger energy right now. Because if it's in a low vibration, it's holding on to all of that fear, all of that doubt, all of that anxiety, all of that confusion, all of that despair and frustration and not knowing how to move forward. Or it's in the galactic center of that higher vibration, connecting with source, connecting with the spiritual truths, connecting with the psychic ability to tap in and be exactly that eviscerates, is what Spirit was saying, anything that comes your way. It's in you. The higher dimension of Sag, where your communication is asking you, where is your vibration? Maybe do some homework on that and figure out where it is you've got to get to that full wholeheartedly believing in your spiritual psychic development, your psychic galactic center, your psychic ability, and your connection with source and galactic council. Being really, truly awoke, not just kind of. But like I said, you're going through the new moon in Scorpio right now, which is all about transformation on can you get on board? Can you get to the raw? Can you start really ripping the root out of the ground of that hive mind and truly coming back into possession of yourselves and accessing your main frame? When I get into the actual blueprint, the body itself, we have Chiron, which is on the lateral lobes. This is how you take action according to the world that you are seeing. It is your decision making and your action taking according to the connection that you are having with this three-dimensional world. Are you having it connected and shrouded in the negativity, which is forcing you to act more bitter? Because, excuse me, what Spirit is giving me is there is a tonnage of stubborn inflexibility right now, holding on to bitterness and blame based off of repressed anger, rage, afraid, and powerlessness, despair. Where's the despair coming from? In your individual world as well as a world population. And what is it that we have to do unified to get us out of that, to get us healed, to truly rip the root out of the ground, snap it so it can't grow back? You're talking about the way your brain is viewing. Then you've got that north node. The north node is everything you need to learn in order to move forward. It's literally on the jaw. How you eat, how you speak, how you chew, how you swallow. It is literally talking about how and what you do to move forward, what you are breathing in. I was talking last week about literally, Spirit is talking about the density of us breathing in because we're a bunch of mouth breathers. Breathing in through our mouth, bringing in all the toxic energy that we don't even acknowledge is part of our three-dimensional world, breathing it in, keeping us at a lower consciousness when we should be breathing in and out through our nose. That's part of what the nose hairs are there for. They're there to keep the toxic from getting in, to help you be less dense in that energy of the three-dimensional and more higher vibrational. Your jaw, your north node, what you're speaking, what you're breathing, how you're talking, what you're eating. When you get into Jupiter, which is on the jugular, we're getting back into the breathing. Abundance. Jupiter is abundance. It's a magnification. It amplifies anything it touches. But Jupiter is good luck. But Jupiter can only bring you good luck if you're in a good mindset. Otherwise, it's abundantly bringing you all the other, and it's still in retrograde. So it's in the thinking of me first, me first. And you're talking about it in the second house, which is technically your throat chakra, and that zeal point, which opens you up to psychic attack. That's why I said I have the bells in my hair. I ain't playing. I don't play fair. Screw you. I'm not playing fair. You're not getting in here. It is your jugular as well as the nerves that are in your throat. Jupiter is dealing with the abundance of what you're breathing in and the energy of being of a lower vibration or a higher vibration, connecting that right on back to the occipital lobe, which is your zeal point, which is what Uranus is sitting on. Your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your authenticity, and a connection with the possession of your own soul and taking your power back is sitting on the occipital, on that point, on the connection to, am I higher vibration or am I caught in the lower breathing, fear mongering? What am I allowing access to my mainframe and to my body? You have Cancer energy, which is the chest, but for this it's Vista, which is the flame of the soul, and it is on the diaphragm. Again, are you inhaling that you are in your power? I am part of that oneness. I am part of that higher dimensional energy. I cannot be touched. I am coming back into my sacred truth. I am as raw can fucking be. I can get into the things that suck. I can get into the bottled up energies and deal with them, even if they make me explosively upset. But I can control my own energy. You cannot control your own power if you cannot control and harness your power if you cannot control your chaos. Everybody needs an outlet, but doing it in a healthy way is the difference between becoming a nuclear bomb. Vista, which is also the keys to opening the doors in astrology, the keys to truly being your sacred fire, by getting as raw and deep as you can into its truth, into its now. And what are you breathing in? I will say 1,000,000 times, I also deal with Hel or Hela in the Norse mythology as the goddess of the underworld. And she has told me 1,000,000 times, ego will have a temper tantrum. Ego will hold on to its fear. Ego will hold on to its despair of, not being heard of what it wants. It will have its temper tantrum. And you know what? Let it have its temper tantrum. It's like a 2-year-old. And then ask it to sit down and think about what it's done. Because soul is everlasting, and soul understands that ego is nothing more than a temper tantrum. It's nothing more than a blink. The feelings and the emotions that you have are real to you for whatever reason. The frustration and the anger and the repressed energy and everything that you have bottled up that you have not dealt with, your bitterness, your blame, your inferiorities. That's all part of ego's now. I need now to be fixed. Okay, 2-year-old. I hear you. I understand that this is pain. But in the bigger picture, I'm already everything. So we'll allow you to have your moment. Now sit down and let's recalibrate. The keys to stepping into that power is not becoming that nuclear weapon, is not becoming something that you cannot control of your own chaos, but dealing with it in its moments honorably. Then we have Virgo energy, which is the large intestines and the colon sitting on Lilith, your soul fire again, speaking to you about where ego is harming you or where it is hurting you. Where are you in the fire for the right reasons or the wrong reasons? And this is in your 6th house of what you allow people to have access to. People, places, and things that you allow to have access to you on a daily activity, a daily basis that deals with your sacral chakra and your solar plexus. And we're getting into the raw depths of where that's still corroded. where we're not healed, where we as where we as the United States are overweight because of everything we carry in us that we haven't shed. You're getting into Juno, which is the gallbladder energy. Then we get into Libra, and this is Venus, Scorpio, Pallas, which is the kidneys and the bladder. Literally getting into the sacral chakra, your relationships and how that affects you, along with how that affects your sexual energy. And when I say sexual energy, I don't mean sex. I mean, do you look in the mirror and love yourself? Do you feel good about who you are? Are you happy with yourself and the skin that you are in? The relationship you have with yourself is going to reflect on the relationship you have with everyone else. It's right to get right with you first. Scorpio is, again, Scorpio is typically seen, and this is where you have the new moon energy. This is part of why that breathing is so important right now, especially through your nose to help get higher vibrational, not through the mouth for lower vibrational. You have Mars and Ceres and the Sun, which are all moving through the nasal energy. See, Scorpio is normally seen as the sexual energies, the reproductive energies. But part of reproduction is breathing in the circulation of life. And all of those Scorpio energies right now are reflecting through the nostrils, through the higher vibration. Can you get to that higher vibration and hold yourself in it? Because you're going to need to all the way through this month as we come into that full moon in Gemini, where it is all up close and personal. Trust me, guys. Plus, like I said, you've got Mercury, which is now in Sag, which everybody likes to think of as that higher understanding where Jupiter rules. It's the sacred, it's the galactic center. It comes to that galactic center. But that is talking about you personally in your blueprint of where is your galactic center? Where are you galactically, vibrationally communicating with yourself from a high or low vibration? Again, I have said a million times, Spirit has said it is no longer suffice for you to only honor your upper 7 chakras, because you are wasting your flipping time if you are only dealing with your upper 7 chakras, because all of your ego waste hides from the hips down. You need to be working on your lower chakras of consciencelessness. And Mercury is dealing with the femur, which is the thighs and the tailbone this week. It is literally sitting on your root chakra and the Vitala chakra. And it is the chakra of despair, confusion, anger, frustration. And typically that means where the communication is looking at where it's pissed off at the world because it can't find its way into that higher vibration. That's your homework right now. Where is that communication and why? Why are you feeling that way inside? And why are you connecting with the outer world and allowing its lower confusion of not being able to get past that? Why are you letting that into your dimensions? The moon is going to be moving through Scorpio, then going into Sag and into Capricorn as it goes through the week. There are some very positive energies this week, but I'm going to be honest, when I'm looking at the astrology, very few. It is shrouded with a lot more challenge of just how spiritually developed are you? How spiritually mature are you? Are you ready to be on this stage and play this game? Are you truly getting into the raw of we're getting back to right? Or are you still just overpowering your intuition, as Spirit said. And it's more about what you want it to be than what it really is. Spirit says also to ask you, what is it that you fear you're lacking? Where is it that you are having problems taking action, going towards your desires? Because you need to actually do it. You need to actually step up and do these things at this time. See where it is that you're afraid of being perfect or letting someone else down. Like I said, bottled up resentment, bottled up despair until it becomes a nuclear energy and you're ready to blow up. Versus let's take momentary actions, stepping one piece at a time towards our desires and actually doing something about making the changes. Don't try to accomplish everything at once. You cannot. But you can take small baby steps in the right direction. And this helps shed guilt of what you're still holding inside. Sorry, I'm just giving it to you as they give it to me. You do have Mercury this week communicating with Venus in sextiles. Venus is in that 7th house of Libra, and Mercury is in that 9th house, holding on to all that anger and that confusion. And where is the moral compass? Where is the spiritual connection and psychic activity developing from? And then it's talking to that 7th house where Venus is about your relationships. Start with the relationship you have with yourself. Remember, the 7th house is all about judgment, all about balance, all about harmony. But 90% of the time, it's too busy trying to make everybody else happy that it's not really creating harmony. It's avoiding it to pretend to keep it. Stop pretending. This is raw. This is the work we are doing. Communicate the truths, even if they have their red flags, even if they have their moments of anger and frustration. Do them in the moments. Don't allow this to bottle up. This is how you work through situations, by actually addressing them, not waiting until it blows up and then there's nothing left. You flatlined everything around you. This is a positive energy. The communication between Venus, your relationship with yourself, your relationship with the outer world, your relationship with your peers, your family, your partners. This is a good time to come forward and have this communication because it's in a sextile. You can find the way to communicate it gently, even though it's coming from truly dealing with the frustrations and insecurities. You have Mars and the Sun that's in the 8th house, which is having a direct conversation with Pluto in the 10th house, which is having a direct conversation with Neptune, which is having a direct conversation with Uranus. Now, I've been saying this to you the other direction for the last, 2 freaking months, and it's still going to be here all month. This is a powerful, powerful energy. But the problem is we are still trying to understand what something's going to look like and direct it according to the life we've known. Because of the life we've known, you have no idea what this new world's going to look like. You're still working to create it, and it's still going to take 2 more years before we actually start to see it. Raw is going, I'm stepping into the unknown. I'm taking the chances of doing things differently. And yeah, it's scary, and I don't know what's going to come of it, but you're not going to make any changes if you don't. And this energy has been here helping you make those baby steps for already 2 months. And it's still got a whole nother month left. And it only now started connecting with that universal Scorpio energy, where you're going to have that new moon, Mars, Ceres, and the sun illuminating the boundaries and the transformation. You can breathe magic into anything, but will you do it wisely and make these changes? You have Jupiter speaking directly with Lilith. That's the second house coming into being in possession of your power, possession of your manifestation, possession of your authenticity, your individuality, your uniqueness. I'm me, love me in all my glory, good or bad. And it's speaking directly with Lilith in that sixth house, which is earth on earth energy, grounding the change, grounding the fire of what do you want to be a part of daily, mundane. The mundane is one of the most important parts in your manifestation because you do it so repetitively, you don't realize you do it. So, what has access to you? People, places, and things in your daily activity. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed every single day, what are you living and breathing and having access connected to? And how is that making you feel individually? This is grounding a positive change. You have that Mars, that Ceres, and that Sun, and it is getting along great with Neptune. This is full water energy, ebb and flow. It can pour or it can crash. It can be a tsunami or it can flow. Neptune is your ability to tap into your magic. And what will you create? But it's in the 12th house. Grief, sorrow, shame, blame, insecurities, lies, denial, betrayal, skeleton in the closet. Illuminating transformation and boundaries. Rebirth. What are you breathing into your life? On Wednesday, you have Mercury and the Sun, which is going to be directly having a conversation with Chiron and the North Node. This is fire on fire. This is like fanning the fires of healing. This is Chiron, the wounded healer, the North Node, seeing things that have to be changed in your character and how you're viewing the world, how you're dealing with the world, coming directly into your moral compass on if you're in a higher or lower vibration in your communication with yourself and the world around you. What tribe are you breathing to life? This is a positive energy. It fans the fire to amplify it, but making sure you're in the right frame of mind of what you're amplifying. On Thursday, you have an Earth trine, which is Pholos, the moon. Pholos is not one that most people talk about. And what Spirit always reminds me of, this is full loss in your outer world, your political arena, your social activity of your jobs, your careers, how you're viewed, your honor, your reputation. And it is speaking directly with Lilith and with Jupiter. This is, again, what has access to you in the outer world. Will you give your power to something that's just going to suck it away from you and have no care? Or are you going to make sure that you're giving something of you into something that's also giving back, that's thankful, that's has gratitude for you being there? Or is it manipulation? This is a positive energy, but it is also speaking about full loss, stepping into the same old category of what you always have known and giving something power emotionally, physically, because you're talking about the moon, of what can work for you or against you. Make sure that you're tapped in on this day to see what that is. Then you have also on the 16th, you have that moon in Pholos is speaking directly with Saturn. It's giving you the opportunity to break something, to make a change, to cut a cord. And it's speaking uncomfortably with Venus in those daily routines. So there's something here that's supposed to be shifted. There's something here that's supposed to be shifted, and it is going to be uncomfortable. Venus is not love. Venus is sensitivity. She speaks to you about why it's good for you and why it makes you feel good. But she also reminds you about what hurts and what betrayed you and why it hurt. And you're talking about your daily routines, your people, places, and things. Something here is going to shift if you're doing this right, adding a new boundary. The challenges this week that is holding, especially right up until that full moon at the end of the month, is you have that North Node in that first house, speaking directly with Pluto in the 10th house, going directly over to the South Node in that 7th house, and then coming back to Chiron. This is very close to a T square, but it's slightly off, but it's still holding that power. This is something that you have to learn about the outer world. Going all the way back to Chiron, what is it where you keep giving your power to someone else, to the outer world? Where is it that you aren't taking full responsibility for your character and allowing yourself to make the change, to breathe something new in, because you're following suit? You're still being a sheep. You're still being told this is the way the world is, so this is what we have to deal with, so suck it the fuck up. No. This is all about transformation, but something here is going to make you uncomfortable. And the whole point of it is we came here to be danced. We didn't come here to sit down and watch the show. We came here to be the legends. So it's time. It's time. What is it that's making you uncomfortable, and deal with it and tap into what it is you need to do to make those small corrections going towards. Because if you don't, come that full moon at the end of the month, up close and personal in Gemini, you're going to feel it. This is something about your character, how you're viewing the world, how the world views you, how you're identifying with that outer world and relationship with it. Where are you allowing it to still dictate its authority versus you actually claiming the authority and taking the responsibility for what you claimed? Then you have Uranus in that second house, which is not getting along with any of that Scorpio energy at new moon. And then after that, the whole rest of the week, Sun, Mars, Sirius. Sirius is all about, not Sirius star, Sirius is all about what is being nurtured or what is being neglected. It's the threefold, and how the threefold works according to what is nurtured and what is neglected. And it is speaking directly with your inner warrior in Scorpio, let me kick down this door and make some change, illuminate what I need to see, set new boundaries, and re-freaking birth. But it's speaking with Uranus in a challenge, making the outer world rebirth if you don't take your power. It's up to you to reclaim it. Only you can restore it. They're not going to give it to you. It's like a dream. A dream isn't going to chase you. You've got to chase it. And part of the dream is your freedom. You have, lastly, but definitely not least, you have Mercury in that 9th house, dealing with higher ascension or lower ascension, anger and communication, possibly mad at the world, versus this is a higher understanding of it's just a moment in time. You're connected to everything and always have been and always will be. And then it's speaking with Lilith again in that 6th house, speaking directly with Saturn at 0 degrees of Pisces, meaning there are no boundaries here. It's like they're just turned off, like we turn the lights off. And then it's speaking directly with the Sun, Mars, and Sirius. I'm warning you guys, if you don't take the action, oh, someone else will. I love you. Bye.